All right, so let's start. Welcome to this presentation of the Economics Department. My name is Claudia Ray. I'm Deputy Head of Department for Teaching and Learning, and I already had the pleasure to talk to a few of you outside. So I'm going to be mostly presenting the department, so what we have in store for you is this program here. I'm going to be giving you the welcome and talking about our programs and a little bit of student experience. We then have a student talking about their own perspective of the economics department here at Warwick. Then we'll have a short break, and then we carry on with some career planning and support, and I believe that will be Atisha talking about that. Then we'll have Daniel Segroy talking about a little bit of his work, and so you have a sense of the type of work that we do here in the economics department, a little bit of the research that we do, and finally, a time for Q&A and the closing of the day, okay? So what do we do here in the economics department at Warwick? We are in the top 5 economics department in the UK, and we focus on delivering excellent teaching and benefiting the students who will then go into society and apply it to the best of their abilities. We deliver, this is a research-led department, so we deliver teaching that is research-led. That extends the frontiers of knowledge and exposes students to what's being done in the various fields of economics, so that they get that experience here. Then we also have, of course, a diverse community and inclusive community of which we are quite proud of, and so that everybody gets to do the best that they can with the economics degree. Our student body comes from all over the world. The breakdown is mostly about 50-50. 50 students come from the UK, 50 students come from the rest of the world. And when you look at the breakdown for staff, that's even more lopsided. So about 18% of our academic faculty comes from the UK, and 82% comes from outside of the UK. As you can tell by now, I do speak with an accent. I do not come from the UK. How do we fare? How do we look in terms of comparison to other departments of economics in the country and in the world? We are constantly ranking, in the UK, we are constantly ranking on the top 5 departments in economics. So this year, we ranked first in the Times and Sunday Times Good University Guide, 2024. We ranked 4th in the Complete University Guide. Second in the Research Excellence Framework in 2021. So this is a program that is government-led, that every university, every department is assessed in terms of the research that they do, and we came second in that, a fact of which we are very proud. And if we compare with the remaining economics departments around the world, we rank 22nd. So that's quite a high ranking. So we do this, and we constantly rank in these very top rankings, as we are, that our students that come here are exposed to world-class teaching, and that's at the research frontier. So we know that you get offers from here and offers from other very prestigious universities. So let me tell you a little bit about how we organize our teaching here in the economics department at Warwick. We offer a variety of modules that are both within the economics subject in various fields of economics, but also into interdisciplinary areas and linking with other departments as well. So some examples of the modules that we offer in economics in-house would be applied macroeconomics, economic policy in the EU, international economics, international trade, labor economics, making of economic policy. We have topics in finance as well, topics in development economics. We have a variety of modules within the various areas of economics that our students can choose from. If you point at the QR code, you can actually see the entire list of modules that we offer within the economics department in the various years. We also offer opportunities for students to do some research themselves and to be exposed to research. As I said early on, this is a research-led department, so we want our students to know what economists do beyond what you see on TV. That's usually commenting about stock market or other things. That's just a small fraction of what economists do. But we want to expose them to the research that is done in the various areas. Not only that, we also want them to be able to do research on their own. And we have a variety of opportunities that our students every year take. The first bullet point that is there is actually our module that is consistent of a dissertation. So in the final year, our students can choose to write a dissertation. That's the Research in Applied Economics module, RAE, of which we're quite proud, because by the third year, students have the tools that they learn in the second year econometrics modules, or micro and macro, so that they can actually look at research questions of interest that interest themselves and of interest to the profession, and with faculty guidance, work on those problems of their own and write a research paper in their dissertation. But beyond the dissertation that students can take in their final year, students can also be involved in research questions of themselves, of their own interest, and that's the Undergraduate Research and Support Scheme, URSS, say during a summer, working with a faculty member on a question that they themselves select, or they can be involved in research programs of faculty members in the department that are looking for research assistants. And that's the Warwick Internship Scheme for Economists, the WISE program. Okay, so there's a variety of things that they can do. They can either work on somebody else's research project, they can work on their own, they can write a dissertation. Several of our students go every year to international conferences presenting student research, and so this is something that Warwick is quite proud of. What about our programs? So we have our own undergraduate program in economics, so that's the BSc in economics, and we also manage in-house the BSc or the BA in economics, politics, and international studies, that's the EPACE. Okay, those two programs are managed by the economics department. Then, as you can imagine, being a high-ranked department in the UK, we have partnerships with several other departments within this university. So, for instance, we have the joint degree in economics, psychology, and philosophy, that's the EPP. We also have the joint degree in philosophy, politics, and economics, that's the PPE. I know the letters are the same, they just flip around. But we also have partnerships with the departments of global sustainable development, modern languages, liberal arts, maths, and these degrees that are Morse and MMORS, and I believe they are mathematics, operational research, statistics, and economics, if I'm not mistaken. And the first M, I think, is management and whatever else I said. So I'm looking there to look for confirmation, because I don't remember all of these acronyms off the top of my head. But basically, what I'm here to tell you is that, yes, we offer our own programs, but if you are, and a lot of people at 17 are not exactly sure what they want to do, but they know that they like maths and economics, there's an opportunity for you to take a degree that is a bit more flexible. Okay, now presenting the BSc in economics, that's our standard economics degree here at Warwick. So in the first year and also in the second year, students have four core modules in macroeconomics, microeconomics, quantitative techniques, so that's both statistics and mathematics, and the module that I myself teach, which is this one here, the world economy, history and theory. It's basically an economic history module for first-year students. These are all year-long modules, which means that students have classes and lectures, term 1 and term 2. Then, in the first year, they can choose up to 2 optional modules, either offered in economics or offered in other departments. A lot of our students choose modules in the business school, or in computer science, or in mathematics, depending on what they like to do, sometimes in languages. In year 2, they continue their learning of the core modules of macroeconomics, microeconomics, and econometrics. That's basically advanced statistics, that's what econometrics is. And plus up to 1 year long optional module, or again 2 term-long modules. And finally, in their third year, they have either their dissertation or an equivalent research-oriented module as core, and they can take up to 6 optional modules. So if students are interested, say, in finance, they can choose more macro or finance-oriented modules in their third year. If they are more if what they really want to do is work for an international organization that fights poverty, they can choose more development modules instead. So it's really a degree, even though yes, it is straight economics, it's a degree that can be tailored towards the tastes of the student who's taking it. Every year we take approximately 365 students. Between 350 and 400, it's not unusual. That's our usual intake. And what happens usually, and I'll be focusing on EPACE next, but this is true for all our degrees. What happens usually for each of the modules that they have 2 hours of lectures a week, plus 1 hour of small classes, either every week or every other week. And the idea is that the core modules are for, the 365 students or the 400 students for the entire cohort. And then they pick that entire cohort, divide it into small groups of 17 to 20, and have the small classes to cement the knowledge that they've had in lectures. Okay? That's how we organize our teaching. For our EPACE degree, there have been some recent changes for the EPACE modules, mostly to do with the politics side of the degree. And this was done following feedback from students because we want to hear and learn and improve their student experience here. So the idea here is that they took a module labeled Political Theory from Hobbes Seeking Freedom and Equality and substituted by Foundations of Political Theory and Topics in Political Theory. And the idea was to enhance the student experience and allow them to be exposed to a streamlined approach to political foundations and theories on the politics side. So the idea also in order to expose them to more recent research in these areas and to allow, a few other modules, for instance, in the final year, for instance, feminist political philosophy and anti-colonialism and resistance. So all of these changes are going to be implemented for the cohort that is joining this year. What's the structure of the EPACE degree? It's similar to the economics degree, but with a slight difference. So whereas in economics you have a full year of micro and macroeconomics, in the EPACE degree you have a full year of economics, 1 term in microeconomics, 1 term in macroeconomics. Also, quantitative techniques, all of these are core, introduction to politics and world politics. Basically, in this degree, you have the core modules in economics and in politics. And then again, like the BSc in economics, you have a 1-year-long or 2 half-year optional modules the same way. In year 2, they continue with their formation in economics, again, economics 2, which is half micro and half macro, and also econometrics, that's the technical statistics or advanced statistics module. Plus 1 optional module in Foundations of Political Theory and Topics in Political Theory, and a variety of other modules within politics. Plus 2 optional modules, including language modules. Many of the students that engage in an EPACE degree want to have an international career of sorts, and so having a language can be an advantage. And finally, in year 3, there is 1 core module called Making of Economic Policy, and the variety of modules that they can choose from, both from economics and politics, or in departments outside. So in that sense, this option 2 allows for a more flexible degree tailored to the students' tastes. For the EPACE with PACE major, again, the structure is similar, but the difference here is that they do not have econometrics. So if you go back and forth, you see that the difference here is this module here in econometrics that is here with the economics major, but not with the PACE major. But everything else remains basically the same. This program is smaller than the economics program. It's about 46 to 50 students every year. Okay, so for our flagship module, the dissertation module in the final year of study, for the students who choose it, these are, these are a small selection of the types of questions that students have chosen over the years. Does ignorant bliss exist? An economic study into education and happiness. We have actually faculty members that work on happiness. I believe you're talking about, you're going to be hearing from, thank you, from Daniel Segroy, who does have some work on that. What are the incentives to commit crime? Do video games make you more violent? And so on. There's a variety of questions that our students can do research and can answer. The dissertations that we have every year, some of the best ones make it to a working paper series that is joint with Warwick Economics and Monash, which is the university in Australia, where the best dissertations are basically published within these two departments and made available. For the teaching and learning, as I was mentioning, we have these very large classes for, lectures for the modules, and then we break them into small classes of 15 to 20 students. The types of assessments, we have a variety of assessments. So there are, essay-based assessments, like the module that I teach in the first year. That's mostly essay-based. But there's class tests, there's presentations, there's research projects, and so on. So you can imagine what we want is to develop, for students to develop a series of skills that are going to be useful in the long run. So, having presentations super useful, because the first time you're talking to somebody you don't know should not be when you're interviewing for a job after graduating here for 3 years. So it should be throughout the degree, and there's plenty of opportunities for that. But also, there is a variety of skills that you get if you have like 2 hours to solve a set of questions mathematically. Also important. Essay-based, I can talk about essay-based to no end, because that's what I have in my module. But the point is that the variety of modules that we have has different types of coursework. And so, for instance, in the module that I teach, I have 50-50 assessment, coursework, which is essays or participation, plus 50% exam. But there are modules that have 40-60, 20-80. Some modules are fully exam assessed. Again, there's a variety of coursework and assessments. Study abroad. All our students in the second year will be invited to apply for study abroad if that's what they want to do, subject to eligibility criteria. Right? They need to have a very high second degree classification in order to be able to apply. And they need to have hold a language level on the Warwick Language Center scale, and a letter of reference from their personal tutor. And these are opportunities that students may choose to engage in, depending on what they want to do after they graduate from Warwick. And certainly, in a 3-year program, what happens is that they do 2 years here, then they take a year abroad, and they return for their final year, which will be their 4th year at Warwick. So this basically, students decide to take this option. Instead of, say, of a BSc in economics, which is 3 years, their degree is going to be called BSc in economics with study abroad. That's what we have in here. We have a variety of partnerships with universities in continental Europe, but also with the Monash University in Australia. That's in Melbourne. So these are places where our students go regularly. There are other opportunities to make connections with other universities. That also happens, but this is the set of universities that every year we send students there, and we also receive students from there. So it's really an international exchange that is very beneficial to our students and to students that come here. What type of support do we have for students? So beyond the classes that I mentioned, the lectures that I mentioned, we have a pre-arrival maths and writing online revision sessions, tutorials in the resources portal. And these are important to make sure that everybody is up to speed by the time they arrive here, as our first-year modules, core modules, are quite technical. We have maths and stats drop-in sessions. Every member of faculty has advice and 2 hours of advice and feedback hours in a week. So that's something that students many times don't realize, that is a resource that is available for them. I am, and in those 2 hours, I am in my office, door open, anybody's welcome. Students in my module or students in any modules that go online, see when is this professor available, I want to talk to her or to him, and they just stop by. No, for me, no need to book. Some other faculty members do have a booking system, but again, this is opening the door for students who may just discuss ideas, they just want to discuss ideas about economics. Sometimes they may have questions in the modules themselves. No questions asked, everybody's welcome. There's also revision sessions before exams. There's the help desks for the dissertation module. Many students do have some difficulties or need help with the statistical programs that they need to run in order to get their results. There's library support. There's an undergraduate member scheme, exam advice sessions in the third term, and also the pastoral support and drop-in sessions that are there throughout the year to help students that sometimes may be facing difficulties. There's more of a time crunch and I have trouble managing my time. Can you help me out? People are there to help. Now, extra economics. There's a variety of societies, and I'm not the best person to talk about this, but I see students here in the first row that are already smiling. There's a variety of societies within the university. I don't know how many, but I know there's many. I know of the Warwick Economics Society, which organizes every year the Warwick Economics Summit. I believe it's still the largest student-led event, yay, the largest student-led event organized in the UK, and if not more, globally. Europe, sorry, I misspoke. Europe, it's really large. It was in the beginning of February. I was there in the opening session with the president of East Timor. I really enjoyed it, and every year it's really impressive, the lineup that these guys bring. Former Nobel Prizes, former ministers of finance. It's really, really impressive. And it's basically a weekend where students from Warwick come, students from other universities come, and they start developing their networks. It's fantastic. And they do a great job. But there's a lot of other societies of which I don't know much, but a few names are here. But I am sure if you're interested in the life, in the society life on campus, you have students here that can help you with questions. Okay, so we are also a very diverse community, a community that is, cares about the well-being of students and that they do well while here. We know that students, coming to study in university, leaving for the first time on their own, outside of their parents. I've been there. My parents have been there. I studied outside of my country of birth for many years. And this is a transition, both in the life of the student and the life of the parents. And we want to make sure, we want to reassure the parents that the students do have the support that they need when they arrive on campus. And so there's, a variety of services to help them. We are also very happy to be a department where, in terms of the work environment, that has been recognized with the Athena Swan Bronze Award in 2021. And, we have also a network for women in economics to bring more inclusivity and diversity into our department. And that's what I have on my own time. Good. Okay, so next is the students. Yeah.